It's winter in Austin. I don't know why I sang it, but it's winter here and it's so wonderful and I love it because it's cool. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. My name is Jami Lynn. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I had a really fantastic moment with a client recently, and they said that I could share this metaphor with you. So I want to share with you a metaphor that they came up with that really clicked with me around why it is hard to let go of some things during a disagreement. Even if your partner's saying like 99 things that make sense to you and are true, and you should really listen to that one thing that they say that is not true or not quite true, you start arguing that point and miss the rest of what they said, and the argument just kind of continues. It perpetuates the cycle of fighting rather than helping to diffuse things. And so if you know what I'm talking about, which I'm sure you do because all of us do this, where a million of the different things that your partner is saying make sense to you, and then they say that one or two few things that you don't agree with, and you fight about that. And then by the end of it, you're like, why are we even fighting? Why are we arguing about this? This makes no sense. We need to just leave it alone. But for some reason, you can't leave it alone. So I want to give you first the metaphor, and then two different tools that you could use in order to pull yourself out of this pattern. Let the little things go because they don't really matter, and focus on what's actually going to move your relationship from conflict, disagreement, into a more harmonious, more connected, more open, vulnerable, and loving space. Okay? So first, the metaphor I used to use was a pretty common one. You've probably heard this, but missing the forest for the trees is how I would often describe this. Whenever you're in a disagreement with your partner, they're saying a lot of things that you should really be listening to because it's going to help your relationship, but you start arguing a point about one or two little things that they say that you don't agree with. Missing the forest for the trees. What my clients shared was this lovely metaphor of like, you're looking at the teacher, she's writing on the whiteboard different math problems, and she's going through the equation, and it all looks good, and then at one point she comes to 2 + 2 and she writes 3 instead of 4. And your mind cannot let that go and hones in on it and needs that to change before you're willing to look at any of the rest of the equation. And maybe math is not the best example of this because the rest of the equation would go wrong if you made one tiny mistake. But in life, if you make one tiny mistake or you use hyperbole once that your partner doesn't agree with and they end up fighting with you over that point, then this is what's happening. Your brain is focusing in on that one thing that you see that is wrong, or at least by your standard is wrong. And it's just missing the rest of whatever your person was saying that could have been really important and helpful. So how do you fix this? Two things. The very first one is have an intention. And I would check in with myself every single day, every interaction, if I can remember to, just to go, wait a minute, what's my intention here? Is my intention to win a fight? Is my intention to be right? Which, let me tell you now, those are some losing strategies in relationship. If you want to know some other losing strategies, check out this video, the 5 losing strategies. But one of the top ones that so many people do is fighting to be right. Because if you're right, awesome, maybe you won that fight, but your relationship lost. And so the very first thing you can do is check your intention. Is my intention here to be connected to my partner, or is it to win this fight and to be right? And if you can check your intention and come back to the point of us talking, the point of us having this discussion is to hopefully bring more connection, then you're going to react really differently whenever they say something you don't agree with. You might still have a struggle to let that go and just stick with what really matters here, what is like truly the point of what they're saying, and how can I use that to come into greater harmony. It might still be hard, but it'll be easier if you have an intention. So know your intention going into every interaction with your partner and stick to it. Use that as your North Star in how am I going to interact with this person right now. The second thing you can do is work on your psychological boundary. So this is my favorite Is it? This is one of my favorite of the 4 boundaries. Ask me about another one and I'll say it's my favorite too. But I love this one. It has made probably the biggest difference in my life. Using a psychological boundary has helped me to become a way more stable, loving person than I've ever been before. And it also helps me to not take things personally. So it helps me also love myself and hold on to my truth in disagreements with others in a way that I haven't been able to before. So I love the psychological boundary. And what it is a boundary that you picture in your mind. The reason you should picture it is because when you're working with this boundary, what you're attempting to do is to allow psychological differences between you and whoever you're talking to. So you can have different thoughts about things and that be okay. The reason that you envision it is the thinking part of your brain that also does emotional processing. This would be like the subcortical area, limbic system. It speaks in 2 different languages. It speaks in sensation and it speaks in visuals. So if you can come up with a visual representation, that it doesn't have to be something that you actually see in your mind. Like I don't typically see a lot of visions personally. That's not something that my brain does easily. I'm more of a sensation, cognition, body movement sort of oriented person. Like that's just the way my mind thinks, which isn't true for everyone. I have one friend who solely thinks in image, another friend who leans really heavily into image, and then also has a lot of cognitive word thoughts. Everyone's different. It just depends on how you're built. But I don't see pictures of my boundary. I have a word story of what my boundary looks like. And then I have like a related image experience of that. But I don't actually see it, if that makes sense. My psychological boundary is like a gold force field that goes all the way around my body. It extends as far as my fingertips and it's got shoots of gold lightning through it. And it just stops energy and information from coming in so that I can go, is this true? Is this about me? And if either answer is no, keep it on the outside of your boundary. Do not let it in. So if you learn how to use a psychological boundary and your partner says a bunch of things that you're like, yes, I need to listen to that. Yes, that's important. Yes, that's going to help our relationship get better. And they say the one thing that to you sounds like 2 + 2 = 3, then what you would do is you would envision your psychological boundary. People picture all kinds of things. I've had a tangle of vines. I've had a desert. I've had a mountainscape. I've had a waterfall. I've had people envision a rainbow. Like, so long as it's strong enough to keep things on the outside, use it, whatever image comes to you. So pull up your boundary and go, is this true? Is it true that 2 + 2 = 3? No, that's not true for me. Is it about me that my partner is saying this thing? I should probably use a different example if I'm gonna give you a really like clear example of this, because 2 + 2 = 3 is definitely not about you. Okay, imagine your partner has said a bunch of things that are actually really important, like, I really like having a lot of space. I find it important to have solo time where I can take care of myself. I really like to have slow, quiet mornings where I can just be connected to me and not have to engage with others. And then amid all of that, they also say, you're needy and I don't like it. And so there's a lot of good things that are really important information if you want to be in relationship with this person. They need a lot of quiet time and privacy and time to themselves. They would like to be able to spend their mornings with themselves rather than engaging with others. All of that is really important key information for you to understand if you want to be in partnership with them. The thing that might feel uncomfortable would be that you're needy. And so stop that with your boundary and ask, is this true? Is it true that I am needy? Well, this is a subjective truth. Part of you might be able to go, maybe in moments I'm needy. I'll take in that maybe sometimes I am needy. Is it a bad thing to have needs? No, absolutely not. Is my expression of my needs always neediness presenting itself? No, I'm not going to take that in as true. It's not true. Is it about me? Is it about me that my partner would say in a sort of disgusted tone, you're needy and I don't like it? No, that's not about me at all. That is about them. That is about their need to have a lot of space and a lot of solo time and not to be responsible for another person's feelings. Like, that's all their stuff. So I'm not going to take that in either. Does it totally resolve the issue? Does it totally resolve the conflict? No. But it creates space inside of you where you can say, nope, that's not mine. Nope, that's not mine. Leave it for them because it's their stuff, not yours. It's not true for you. It's not about you. Leave it for them. And then it's easier to just blow past that comment like, you can think I'm needy. I don't think I'm needy. I still love you. You still want to be with me. There's enough good between us that that's not a problem. I'm just going to let that piece go, but I'm going to take in all of the important information you're telling me about yourself and your needs. Whew. This is kind of an advanced practice. This is life-changing. I swear, this is a life-changing practice. If you can get the psychological boundary down, you are going to experience such a transformation where what people say and think just does not affect you in the same way, and it is magical. But it is an advanced practice. It takes time. It takes a lot of repetition. And if you're wanting to learn how to do this really well, if you're wanting to hear more examples, hear more of an explanation, check out my course, Boundaries, Create Your Peace. I go through the 4 different kinds of boundaries with my mentor, actually, Jewel Shore, and we will teach you how to do boundaries in a way that not only helps you feel more protected, but is also going to make it possible to be more connected with your partner. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave me comments down below, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.